this is the fly I'm going to tie. This is called the Endrick Spider. Now, it's named after a river in Scotland. The Endrick Water, or the River Endrick, is a river which flows into the eastern end of Loch Lomond in Scotland. And there's quite a few guys, a few people I know that actually fish that water, especially online. So this is a request. So I get asked for this fly quite regular. So here we are. The hackle's quite long in this version. That's the way I like this pattern. It gives the impression both the wing and legs, and it's not lightly dressed. You could make it lighter if you want. It's a good river and loch fly, so it's good materials, which you can't go far wrong with. So now, the hook I'm using for the Endrick Spider is the Full & Mill. It's basically just a medium wire. It's an all-rounder, size 14. It's a quite a nice light wire hook. Now the hook choice is up to yourself. You could use a slightly heavier hook if you want, depending on the time of the year, because it's a good fly both for rivers and lochs, though it's fished in the River Endrick. So now, thread I'm going to be using, you could use a brown thread or whatever, but I'm just going to use the black thread 80 from Uni. Now first thing I'm going to do is wax the thread. Just run the wax through it. And what we're going to do is wind from the eye down until we reach the barb of the hook. Now you could try it shorter, it's up to yourself. I'm just going to tie it the full length. Now for the tail and the body I'm going to be using the pheasant tail, the natural brown pheasant tail. Now just bring a good half dozen fibres, because what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to actually use it for the tail and the body of the fly. So length, you're looking round, say the body length, just over the back. For your tail, a couple of turns, just keeping it on top. Now I've got a small copper wire. This looks unusual. What I'm going to do, normally you trim that away and tie in another piece of the pheasant tail, but you don't need to. All you do is lift it back slightly, catch in your copper wire, which is, as I say, use a fine or a small, and then just run your thread up. What I'm doing here is stopping the waist end, curling round with the thread as I wind. So you wind your thread up to about, say, 1.5 mils from the eye. And then we're going to bring the pheasant tail fibre towards, in my case, towards myself, so that when I bring the rib up through the normal way, it catches it in much better and makes the body last far longer. And then we just wind up, forming the body, come across. Basically, because we're going the opposite way, we've got to go across the pheasant tail with a turn, and a turn onto the hook. Do the same again and again, and then we can trim away. Just trim the pheasant tail away, and now bring the rib up. Now you'll see why I wind the pheasant tail towards myself. When you bring your wire up, your rib, it's crossing over the fibres, catching them in. Plus you'll be able to see the rib itself. So come into my last turn, there's about 5 or 6 turns here, which is follow it up with the thread, but a 90-degree bend into the wire. Then what that does is locks in the wire, stops it pulling back. Nice base of thread down, tying in the wire, bend and break it away. Now what I've got here, this is the neck from the partridge. This is just coming from off the neck. You get these wee fine, like kind of grey brown type fibre, partridge feathers, which are really good for tying spiders and flies like this, because this is a spider pattern because there's no wing on it. You don't need much. The stems are very fine as well. So what we do is we remove obviously feather to suit, fluff away. I'm going to obviously use my small pair of hackle pliers to locate the tip of the feather. Just use the tip of the hackle pliers to hold it and draw back. Because when you tie it in by the tip, you trim it to about, say, 1 mil or so from that point. Make sure there's wax on your thread, gives you lots of grip. 1, 2, 3 turns. Because of the wax, there's plenty of grip there. Using my hackle pliers to wind the hackle. Just draw back the fibres, fold them back, Nice straight turns. Now you could use up the full hackle if you want, especially the early season. I don't mind having an extra turn or two of hackle, because this will represent quite a few flies coming off. And then what we do is follow up 2 or 3 turns. Now for security we can then fold back the stem, build up the head. Keeping the thread tight, you can actually break this off, you just take your time. There you go. And then we can hit finish. You don't have to break it off like that. And then come in to the edge of the scissors, trim. And there we are. And that's the Endrick Spider. Lovely wee pattern, simple. Now what I'm going to do here, just varnish the head first. Now the hackle gives impression of the wing and legs. So you can have it short if it's just more a spider like, but this is basically giving the impression of both. You see, it's a nice pattern, very simple to tie. You can change the colour of the body if you wish, but overall the fly dressing is perfect for trout. And I say you can fish at both rivers and lochs and you'll still catch. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you enjoy the videos, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.